होय ओय होय होय ओय होय होय ओय होय होय सैया छेड़ देवे ननद चुटकी लेवे ससुराल गेंदा फूल सास गारी देवे देवर समझा लेवे ससुराल गेंदा फूल छोड़ा बाबुल का ना भावे डेरा पिया का सास गारी देवे देवर समझा लेवे ससुराल गेंदा फूल सैया है व्यापारी चले है परदेश सूरतिया निहारूं जियरा भारी होवे ससुराल गेंदा फूल
चन्ना मेरे या चन्ना मेरे या चन्ना मेरे या बेलिया महफिल में तेरी हम न रहे जो गम तो नहीं है गम तो नहीं है जिससे हमारी नजदीकियों के कम तो नहीं है कम तो नहीं है कितनी दफा सुबह को मेरी तेरे आंगन में बैठे मैंने शाम किया चन्ना मेरे या चन्ना मेरे या चन्ना मेरे या बेलिया ओ प्रिया चन्ना मेरे या चन्ना मेरे या चन्ना मेरे या बेलिया
बन्नो रे बन्नो मेरी चली ससुराल को अखियों में पानी दे गई दुआ में मीठे गुड़ धानी ले गई हाय बन्नो रे बन्नो मेरी चली ससुराल को अखियों में पानी दे गई दुआ में मीठी गुड़ धानी ले गई
रे कबीरा मान जा रे फकीरा मान जा आजा तुझको पुकारे तेरी परछाइयाँ रे कबीरा मान जा रे फकीरा मान जा ऐसा तू है निर्मोही कैसा हर जाइया
तेरे रुख से अपना रास्ता मोड़ के चला चंदन में अपनी खुशबू छोड़ के चला मर के माया रख के
तकिए तले चन्ना मेरे या चन्ना मेरे या बेलिया चन्ना मेरे या चन्ना मेरे या चन्ना मेरे या बेलिया
Some people wonder, what's the world coming to? Their days are empty of all the hope that they once knew. We're of the people with faith, this will pass if we dare to do our part. And we will rise as the shadows fall, together find although we're lost. Our hopes and dreams will carry us. So come on now, walk with me, oh, 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 walk with me. Come on now, walk with me, oh, walk with me, oh. Some people ask, what difference could I make? One act of kindness cannot undo the world's mistakes. We're of the people with faith, nothing divine can come to be without a spark. And we will rise as the shadows fall, together find although we're lost. Our hopes and dreams will carry us. So come on now, walk with me, oh, walk with me, oh, walk with me, oh, walk with me, oh, walk with me in the light of faith, in the light of hope, in the light of love. Oh, Mola, तेरी हिदायत पर अमल करने चले. Oh, come my brother, oh, come my sister. We've waited so long to walk together, yeah. So come on now, walk with me, oh, 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 walk with me. Come on now, walk with me, oh, walk with
What's up, guys? Robbie here. If you want to learn how to make $1,000 a day online,
here is the hottest show in town. You are tuned into Coffee with Jalal.
यानी सत श्री अकाल अस्सलाम मैं आपका होस्ट जलाल लादक नाजिर. आप सब देख रहे हैं कॉफी विद जलाल ऑन रेडियो स्टेशन कैलगरी एंड पंजाबी नेशनल टीवी है. अगर आप हमें फेसबुक पर या यूट्यूब पर कहीं भी देख रहे हैं गाइस, सो थैंक यू सो मच फॉर जॉइनिंग अस for the Sunday edition of Koffee with Jalal. I'm sorry, we started earlier, but we had some issues on my side. I had some technical issues with the Wi-Fi, so I had to restart the whole system. So इसके लिए जो पहले मैंने जो है disconnect कर दिया था. And thanks for everyone जिन्होंने message किया for asking. And now we are here, and hopefully you guys can share this one as soon as possible, because I know कि लोग लगता है अभी भी लास्ट फीड देख रहे हैं, but I hope not. वो मैंने डिलीट कर दिया था. But hopefully everyone can come here and enjoy the show. अगर आपने शेयर नहीं किया, so please do so. And thank you so much everyone जो अभी देख रहे हैं. Like I said, on Facebook as well as on YouTube. Let's start because I know we are running late now already. So let's get to my first guest. He's from Pakistan. He's from Karachi, Pakistan. His name is Shazal. He's an artist himself, but he runs kind of students basement activity center. That's what it's called. We know where he teaches apna music sikhate hain, including all the instrument like guitar, drum, and of course the keyboard as well. So he's got so many students as well. So let me get him. He's waiting backstage as well. His name is Shezal. Hello Shezal, how are you? Kaise ho bhai?
I'm good. Am I audible to you?
Yes, it's perfect. It's perfect. Yeah. So theek hai. So how's everything in Karachi?
Everything is good, apart from COVID, but everything is good. Alhamdulillah.
Oh, very good, very good. So Shezal, of course, like I just said, like you run a kind of the activity center in Karachi called Students Basement Activity Center. So we'll talk. So Joe, we'll talk about that as well. Like सबसे पहले, you know what? Let me play the video the one you sent me about the ये जो है students basement center. How's this sound?
Yeah.
Okay, let me play this video, guys. Just to get an idea, like what are we talking here? So there we go. So guys, ये थी like जो a little bit video about the students basement activity center. So before we go on, Shezal, ये थोड़ा अपने बारे में बता, who's Shezal?
Okay, so basically I call myself an educationalist और मैं अपना introduction students basement के साथ ही देना चाहूँगा because that's something which I connect myself with.
ठीक है.
Basically, Students Basement is an organization or is an institution which has 5 different parts. The first one is Students Basement Tuition Center, in which we teach students of class 1 to 8. Another department is Students Basement Coaching Center, in which we have students from grade 9, 10, 11, 12. The third one is Students Basement Center for Aptitude Test Preparatory Classes. That means we prepare students for university aptitude test. And the fourth one is Linguistic Students Basement Center for Linguistic Development. That is the center in which we work on different languages like English and French for now. And the fifth part is Students Basement Activity Center, which we are talking about basically today. So this is the entire umbrella of Students Basement. And about myself, I have been teaching. I've been into teaching since like 10-11 years right after my intermediate. And about my qualifications, I have completed my master's. So that's all I am.
Wow. Yeah. So you know what, like Shezal, maybe you want to sit back a little bit because you are cutting from the top.
Yeah.
Thoda piche hoke pe, yeah, there we go. Yeah, this is better. Yeah. Perfect. So Shezal, so how long you been doing this?
Since 2016 we are doing this.
Okay.
It has been 4 years now.
Okay. So you're an artist yourself?
Yeah, that's my passion. And I've been doing music since when I was in grade 8. I used to listen to few Pakistani pop musicians, and then I tried to become also. I had a dream to become a pop star or something, but it's not very easy to get into the field of media. But that was my dream back in school days. Also, I wanted to become a cricketer. I also play cricket, and I'm a fast bowler too. So that's also my passion.
Yeah.
So I pursued my passion along with my academics. Like while studying in matriculation and intermediate, I was doing bit music. I learned playing guitar and piano back when I was in grade 11th.
Wow.
So it was a journey when I started my music.
Yeah. So if you can tell us like about this, like the students' basement activity center. When did you when did you start?
Yes, Students Basement Activity Center was basically started in 2016, but that was the initial time. But prior to that, I was teaching music to few students as well. But since we started, हमारे पास लोग आते गए. In our first year, we had like around 5 students in our batch, only 5 students, and then for the year in a music side, right? So we have only 5 students throughout the year. Then in the next year, we had few more students. Then gradually it enhanced. And recently, we have completed our. I can say it was our 16th batch since 2016. 4 years. That was our 16th batch, and we marked the number 150 graduates. Like 150 students learn music from us in different parts, like through our campus learning, through online learning, through one-on-one learning. So it marks 150 students. And for now, we are 17th batch, and in which we have around 42 students more.
150 students. So how do you manage everyone? So do you have the all-day kind of thing classes?
No, that was not all together. I'm saying 150 in 4 years.
In 4 years. Okay, sorry. Okay. Okay, so of course, because I've seen the video just now, like you have the kind of girls and boys together. I think it's good to see everyone is working together. So, like, of course, like when you started it was a different time. Now we are in the COVID season now, COVID era now. So how do you manage now with all the safety precautions?
Yeah, that was the biggest challenge we faced this year. It's not about activity center only. It's about the entire students' basement. But fortunately, we started our campus 2 back in January 2020, one month before the COVID. So we had a physical space. We have a good physical space. Still, we have. So, like we do all the classes with social distancing. About music classes, we have installed sanitizer in every room. We properly check their temperature while entering, and we try to ask everyone to put mask on during the class time also. And we try to accommodate only 15 students in a time of one slot, and in which we get 5 students in a room. So they do that with the social distancing, but still there is also a peer learning going on. So peer education system like that also enhance leadership skills in children. So we focus on that along with music too. While learning music, students are here with us, are also preparing themselves as being a future leader. So we take care of that. A bit difficult to manage at the moment, but Alhamdulillah, it's going fine.
Yeah. So as a teacher, where do you see the all these girls, boys? New artists are coming up. So where do you see them? What's the kind of their inspiration these days? Like they want to love music by themselves, or it's coming from the parents? Like kind of force a little bit.
I think they are passionate about. Most of the students are passionate about music by themselves, and if a child is not passionate, if he doesn't have interest into music, they drop after a week or two. But our course is basically of 2 months, and so far, this era, like we usually do music and music classes in summers and winters only. because of schools
Mm-hmm.
and other. But in this COVID era, students are like very much encouraged and motivated to join a season two. So for that, this time, especially this year, we have introduced our three courses: basic, intermediate, and advanced.
Mm-hmm.
So like for like around 40 students we have right now. Out of
Yeah.
them, 50 students are the students were enrolled back in June. Since
Yeah.
June they are with us, and
Yeah.
they are just taking a step ahead, step ahead, step ahead. So they are so passionate
Okay.
about music, and they are also self-driven. Like I see, I can name few students. I have a student named Alina,
Yeah.
Pinar, one student Ahan. These are the students who come up with every new music every time in every class.
Yeah.
Like that's an inspiration for me too.
Mm-hmm. So, so you play yourself, like the guitar, piano, drum. Do you play yourself, everything?
I teach myself guitar and piano, and we have an instructor named Arman Bana for drums. So he
Ah,
teaches
okay,
drums.
okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think this is your basically kind of the work for you now, like all day, every day. This is your main job now, like to teach students.
Uh, we do music classes on weekends only. So during the weekdays, I'm busy with my academic side, like coaching center, tuition center, and then on weekends, our campus and myself engaged
Mm-hmm.
in music classes.
Okay, okay, okay. So I think you have your, like, I think you have your guitar with you right now. I think beside you, you wanna play something for us,
Yeah, I would love to.
please?
Okay. दूरियां मजबूरियां रोके क्यों मुझे जान ले दुनिया में न भूलूं से एक आस बढ़ती जाए ये प्यास बढ़ती जाए यादें जिया तड़पाए इन आँखों में नींद ना आए ये मन तड़पता जाए ये मन तड़पता जाए ये शाम मस्तानी मदहोश किए जाए मुझे तो कोई खींचे तेरी ओर किए जाए ये शाम मस्तानी मदहोश किए जाए मुझे दूर कोई खींचे तेरी ओर किए जाए
Ah, awesome. Yeah, thank you so much. Wow. So, let me play one more video from your school, like from the Students Basement Activity Center. So let me play one more video from them. I think it's a really inspiration for us too. So let me just add it on. There we go. There we go. Wow. Yeah. So now I see the kind of the older kids as well. So what's the age limit, or like all the students you have? What are kind of average age do you have?
Okay, so that was a very difficult to decide because music is something which inspires everyone, like even a 1 year old child do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we have planned the age criteria this year specifically because Alhamdulillah we got a good response this year. So for piano, we have decided like our youngest child is of 4 years, and
Okay.
for guitar, our youngest child should be of for 10 years to get enrolled. That's
Hmm.
a prerequisite for guitar, and for
Yeah.
drum it's same like 10 years.
Yeah. 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 So yeah, what's the general feedback from the parents? Are you once the kid is kind of learning, and probably they're gonna when they go home and probably practice as well at home. So what's the
Okay,
feedback
so
in
this is
general from the
something
parents?
which is very feedback about parents and students is something which is very close to my heart. If you ask me to define in words, it would be very difficult for me, but let me try. Let me just tell you some instances.
Uh-huh.
Like uh, I have one child. He's like 16 years and he plays guitar. But he when he go back to home every time after learning a lesson, he completes it. It work, and then he send me the voice clip on WhatsApp every time. Like, sir, I have
Uh-huh.
done this. Improvise this. I have done this. And his father, wherever he meet me, like in a mart or because he's from my own area, everywhere anywhere if I meet his father, he always appreciates. He says, Shazal, तुमने तो बहुत अच्छा काम किया, मेरे बेटे को सही ट्रैक पे लगाया, उसको एक अच्छी आदत दी." This is one of the feedbacks of an elder adult one, and
Yeah.
from people, it's their love. You see, we have our school space for like music learning only, right? And we have never thought about it, but students and their family members are so encouraged and so connected to us that since like in 3 months we have celebrated 4 or 5 birthdays in our campus.
Okay. Wow.
So we feel like home here.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
one more thing that I haven't seen any of a child taking any leave during the music class time. Like they
Hmm.
dedicatedly give time. They cancel all other commitments, even a playtime.
Wow.
They love
Yeah.
to come over here and learn. So this is
Oh,
something
that's
to word
yeah.
up, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah, that's right. Yeah, because this kind of thing, it will encourage you as well, right? To go. I think even better for you. And our good friend Suleiman Rahman, he's watching right now. How do you know Suleiman? Suleiman bhai.
oh, Suleiman Bhai, I would love to mention here that he's one of the top supporters who always encouraged me to do music, to produce music, always helped
Yeah,
me to.
yeah,
And I knew him like I'm in multiple institutions in our community too.
yeah,
So in various programs, I saw him as a judge. Few of
yeah.
the programs were organized by our department. So I personally called him as a judge, but I never knew him personally. But that was an instance in a college time. I was a college teacher, by the way, too.
Uh-huh.
So his daughter was my student,
Okay.
and it was something about an event in which she was participating. But at the end of the day, because of so many things, so many reasons, her participation was cut off.
Yeah.
And I was the one in the management team, and she was crying on the side. I went there and I asked, "Beta, what happened? आप क्यों रो रहे हो? क्या हुआ आपको?" She
Yeah.
said, "Sir, मेरी performance cut हो गई. This is not the way. मैंने इतनी अच्छी planning की थी, मैंने इतना अच्छा preparation किया था." Then somehow I got a chance to discuss the case with the team. Like obviously there's a team behind every event. So
Yeah.
finally got a chance to perform in that event.
Yeah.
However, it was very small, but she got a chance. Then
Okay. Good.
she discussed about me to Suleiman Bhai,
Yeah.
that teacher in my school and he does this to me. Then specifically Suleiman Bhai came to the college to meet me, and
Okay.
then that was the first formal interaction in which he probably remembers my name. He got to know me.
Ah.
I knew him since so long. Then
Yeah. Yeah.
we collaborated for a few projects, and we have like so many songs coming up together. Like he's a
Oh,
producer,
nice.
producing
Yeah.
music for my songs, and also few videos with him too.
Oh, nice. Okay, there is a really good comment from our good friend Shehzad from Toronto. Yeah, like, you did a great job, Shehzad. Keep it up. May Allah bless you. And our good friend Fatty Fat from all the way from Portugal. So he's our smiley singer as well. So always always a big supporter for everyone. So thank you, Fat. So if I ask you last question, like Shehzad, where do you see yourself and the kids in next 5 to 10 years?
The world is changing, and we cannot do according to the plan, but I aim to see them on somewhere in television or anywhere about my kids, right? And myself, about going into music, I see myself like going into producing music side.
Okay. So if you produce any song, or if your kids, if they do anything, you can keep me in the loop. Maybe we can have your kids next time on the show. And as you know, we'll be doing like a future superstar, inshallah. Like, it's the end of February, so registrations are still going on. As you know, you are our big supporter, like in Pakistan, with all the groups. Thank you so much for everything you do. Like you and Sulaiman Bhai are our pillars in Karachi, in Pakistan, the whole. So thank you so much. Hopefully we'll see your kids like on our show sometime. If not this one, maybe the next one, inshallah. So you want to say, before I let you go, what do you want to say as a message or as a comment?
I want to sing a song for.
Please go for it.
For the closer.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Old one, but.
Yeah, sure.
वो बीते दिन याद है, वो पल क्षण याद है, गुजारे तेरे संग जो लगा के तुझे अंग हो, वो शर्माना तेरा, वो मुस्काना तेरा, दिसंबर का समा, वो भीगी सर्दियां, वो मौसम क्या हुआ, न जाने कहाँ खो गया, बस यादें बाकी।
All right, thank you, Shehzad. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. I know it's very late. It's like a 3 o'clock early morning in Karachi.
Yes.
So,
But thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, stay safe and stay healthy. If you have any new videos, please share with me. So I'd love to post on, in our groups here. So that'll be great. So we can encourage our kids.
One song is releasing soon, probably in a new year. Its name is 𝗃𝗶𝗀𝗃𝗃. So
okay.
I'm excited for it, and I'm gonna share it with you too, and obviously everywhere.
Okay, plus, I mean, thank you so much. All the best to you. Stay safe and stay healthy, and say Yali Madad to all your kids and and their parents. So hopefully we'll see you soon on the show, inshallah.
Inshallah.
All right. Thank you so much.
No problem. Bye.
Yali Madad. Bye.
Bye.
So guys, one and only Jalal Keshawji, all the way from Karachi, Pakistan, from the students' basement activity center. You can find them on Facebook. They have their own page. Everything is there. All the details are there. And as Joe, I've been advertising our next guest. They are from Calgary, and one is a mentor and one is a student. And I think this time both of them they'll be on the hot seat, and so I'll be asking the question to both of them, Mr. Ameer Keshawji and the Reese Ladak. And then Ameer Keshawji, he's got some question for Reese, because he's the one who kind of taught him about the university and about all the everything goes, to get into the university. So let me get them on the screen. First of all, really good friend of the program, Mr. Ameer Keshawji. Hello, Ameer bhai.
Yali Madad, how are you? Jalal,
how are you? Good to see you. How's everything?
Oh, shukr, alhamdulillah, we're doing okay, keeping busy And you
Yeah.
keeping us busy also, which is a good thing.
Which is a good thing. Yeah, if you're busy, so you keep us out of trouble, right?
Exactly, exactly.
So how's everything in the COVID these days? You know what? Let me get Reese on first, so then we'll talk. How's
Yes.
this sound? Okay, let me get him. He's here as well. Hello, Reese.
Yeah,
What's up?
how are you? How are you? How is
Hello,
everyone?
how are you?
Yeah, I know that Ameer uncle, it's been a while. How are you?
Very well, thanks. Shukr alhamdulillah.
So before we start, let me ask same question to both of you. Ameer, by this COVID-19 since March. So how are you keeping up with all the new technology and everything?
Well, you know what? Jalal, that locally here in Calgary, I used to meet 5 students a day over a
Right.
cup of coffee at my favorite coffee shop.
Yes.
But since the 13th of March, I had to stop that. And now I do mostly group sessions with our Jamaati groups overseas in New Delhi, in India, in Karachi, and in northern Pakistan. And other places on a very regular basis, all international on Zoom. So Zoom is the technology that's enabled me to reach a very large number of students in the different parts of the world. Shukr alhamdulillah. I'm really grateful. I'm thankful to God that I'm able to do that, and I'm able to reach students that need to be embarking on their post-secondary education and pursuing their dreams and their ambitions.
That's right. And Reese, what about you? I know you've been doing online most of the time now since COVID started. So how are you keeping up with all these things?
Yeah, no, I mean, it was quite the adjustment, I have to say, because Zoom, when it came out, I believe in March, shortly after the world announced that we're going under lockdown, it was a new software, so everyone, teachers and students, we all had to get adjusted to it. With that said, though, I think it's quite impressive and remarkable how the entire world sort of adjusted to this a new digital lifestyle so quickly and rapidly. I have to say it's quite impressive. And now, I mean, I think it's sort of just like our new daily sort of life, using Zoom. People use it every day, all the time. And I honestly, I don't know what we would do without it, just because it's enabled learning, and it's enabled virtual healthcare, and in so many other sectors of society as well.
Oh no, based on that, Jalal, if I may follow up a question to Reese, more pointed. Reese, you've been at McGill almost 4 years, and 3 years of those was pre-COVID-19, and the past almost a year, or a little less than a year, it's during the pandemic. Now, your student experience must have taken a dramatic turn in terms of the new paradigm of learning, class experiences, personal student interaction, extracurricular activity, and all those things. Now, can you briefly explain how you navigated through these convulsive changes while on campus and while having to cope at the same time with your normal course load? Now, I know that, university education as we knew it in normal times was interaction with students, meeting students all the time, in the lecture theaters, outside, over coffee, over lunch. You're not able to do all that. So my question would be, are you still getting the full benefit of university networking and university life?
That's actually an excellent question. And sorry to say, but I do not think so. I think, as efficient and as good as Zoom is at helping us proceed with our daily lives, it has nevertheless compromised the university experience in its entirety. And that's speaking from, towards multiple aspects of university life, including education, because even though we're still able to learn on Zoom, first of all, tutorial sessions have all been shut down at least at McGill, and those, I was a tutor, so I know this personally, those were quite effective at helping students grasp the material to a complete extent. Furthermore, because everything's online and on Zoom now, it's very hard to stay focused as well for even an hour and a half lecture, only because you're in the comfort of your own home and there's too many distractions there, because you are already online, so there's social media, and then there's YouTube, and then if you're at home, there could be other people there as well, and overall and ultimately it just isn't the same experience as inside a lecture hall. Now, that's speaking from an educational standpoint. From a social perspective as well, it isn't the same. It's very hard to meet with students. As you said, it's very hard to interact with them, communicate with them, and as a result of that, I feel a lot of students' mental health has taken a toll, because it's human nature for us to want to interact with people, want to communicate, and for us not being able to do that freely, it's very stressful. And I know this personally as well, because I'm actually a crisis response for kids help phone, and about 85% of the cases I receive, it has to do with COVID-19 and feeling isolated and lonely.
Well, from what I understand from what you're saying is that the social life of university life and networking has been quite drastically compromised.
Yes.
And having said that, have you thought of what university life would be when we come back to normal, or what is going to be called the new normal? Will we remain very mainstream COVID-19 practices of online learning and all that? Do you think students will get comfortable with working out of the comfort of their own homes, not meeting at coffee shops and lunch tables? Do you think that will remain normal even after we're able to meet each other again?
So another really good question. I don't think so, only because I know at least at McGill, they are putting in tremendous effort to resuming our formal lifestyle before COVID. So for example, in the winter semester at the least, what's happening is that they are planning to resume some classes to be in person, specifically those with seminars and labs. And we've been receiving regular updates from the administration's office and the dean, and according to them, our fall 2021 semester, it won't look completely like the fall 19 semester before COVID happened, but it also won't look terribly similar to the fall 2020 semester, which is what we just observed in this past semester. So to just briefly summarize, I think that this whole remote learning lifestyle, we won't be seeing too much of in the coming semesters. I think we will, in fact, resume our in-person learning and go back to that pre-COVID lifestyle that so many students enjoyed.
Well, from what you're telling me, that probably international students won't be coming here, traveling to our universities in Canada and North America, naturally, because there are restrictions because of COVID-19 and other restrictions. So do you think that the intake of foreign students will be drastically limited?
I think so, and I also know that all the universities are planning to sort of offer a hybrid style learning, in that they'll be offering in-person classes, but also recording the sessions onto Zoom for the international students who won't be able to come back.
And that will drastically compromise the value of international studentship, interfacing and interacting with international students, drawing from their culture and their traditional backgrounds, and them drawing from our traditional backgrounds here at home in Canada. That part of the learning process of university education, I think, is going to be drastically not only compromised, but I think damaged. And I don't know, recently you and I have spoken very often that I thought that was a very important component of learning. Doesn't matter which discipline you're studying at the university, that component of international studentship was a very important part of university studies.
Oh no, absolutely. And like, even though there is Zoom, so students in Canada and abroad can still interact, I do know personally as well that a lot of students are hesitant to continuing their studies for the time being until after the COVID era, only because a lot of these universities, they aren't reducing tuition fees. So many of these students, they'll be paying for the full university experience while they'll only be receiving 10 to 20%. And so because of that, a lot of class sizes as well are also being reduced in the coming semesters. And, as you said, that severely compromises the educational quality of not only those international students who have to put their life on hold, but also local students who would have learned a lot from those international students and their distinct cultures and backgrounds.
Yeah.
Reese, I know that you're one of the very few students that I've met during my voluntary work, one-on-one studentship and all that I used to do. And I think you were one of the very few who had 3 interviews at 3 Ivy League schools. So, your brilliance and your passion for learning doesn't escape my attention. Now, coming on that point, are you able, I know you're more of a research scientist, are you able, under these circumstances, still able to pursue your passion of research? And I know particularly you were doing cell research in cancer and various other researches that you're doing during your summer programs earlier on, and now you're doing it quite emphatically. I'd like to know, has that been compromised, or are you still on your own, individually, given the passion you have, able to carry on with that kind of work?
So that's actually quite a good question. And I have to say, I think the answer lies in the middle. And the reason I say that is our labs at McGill are currently open, and undergrad students are allowed to pursue research. However, all the processes have severely been compromised in that everything is very much slowed down, if that makes sense. And I can further elaborate. In our lab at the moment, as you may be familiar, in a lab you have benches in parallel, and you have researchers working alongside each other. In this COVID era, what happens is each bench is assigned to one student only. So only one student can work at one bench at one time. So because of that, everything has become a lot slower, only because you aren't able to work in the lab when someone else is there. And because of that, all the testing, all the experiments, everything has been severely backed up. And it's just like, it takes a lot of patience and discipline to find a time that works for everyone. But even after that, it's it still is quite frustrating because you can't, for example, conduct an experiment for a whole week because other people also have to come in to the lab, so you have to do it in portions. So it slows everything down quite a bit.
So the process has been curtailed quite drastically. I mean, in terms of time and in terms of efficiency, because you work with your bench partner, in scientific research. You got somebody sitting with you, a couple other people sitting across your bench, and that is how there is a wonderful flow of ideas and knowledge back and forth, rather than going through Zoom or going through the internet and messaging. So I'm thinking that, do you think that this slows down the area of research and development drastically because of COVID, or are we going to find new technology to make it more enabling, more personalized, and which has a greater degree of warmth in the research process?
So I think a lot of researchers have sort of done the best they can, in that a lot of projects have been turned to the bioinformatic nature, which can be done remotely, so you don't have to come into the lab. However, there's only so much you can do remotely, because you still have to check on your cells, you still have to treat them, you still have to work with animals and mice, because from those infectious bottles we really grasp an understanding of infection and a disease, and also treatment. So with that said, I think researchers have done the most they can, but I don't think they can sort of eliminate that whole in-person component entirely, because without those, we wouldn't be able to proceed with understanding fundamental scientific processes that drive certain infections and a disease, and also treatment, a development as well.
Well, this may be a personal question, Reese, but do you think you can give us a better idea of how you're managing with your research, what you've undertaken to do, and how has it impeded or hampered your speed at which you would love to work, and at which you are at present only enabled to do because of present situation?
No, of course. No, I think that's a good question. Yeah. So my research is actually focusing on a rare type of cancer that's hormonal dependent, called lymphangiomatosis, otherwise known as BLAM. Now, so my project is it's a lot working with cells, specifically cancer cells. So you have to treat them, they have to harvest them, they have to permeabilize them to collect a DNA inside. So it's quite the process, because these cells, they take about a week to grow, and they're highly unstable. So you have to work very fast before they die in order to collect a DNA. So the thing is, ideally, you would want to do the whole process and ending with collection of a DNA all in 1 week. Now in Biolab, there's 6 other people, and there's 2 benches. So essentially, you have 3 people per bench. Now, because of COVID restrictions, only 1 person can go on each bench at a time. And so with that said, it's not like I can be at the bench for the entire day. So what we have done is that I go in the evenings to the lab, whereas the other 2, one of them goes into the morning and the other one goes in the afternoon. Now, because of that, everything has severely slowed down, because I can only do 1 cell line per week, rather than doing, for example, 4 cell lines. only because I have, for example, only 4 hours in the lab, whereas if in a COVID-free world, I could be there the entire day.
So this thing is drastically slowed down. But tell me generally, in terms of your other subjects, like you're probably doing 5 subjects a semester, plus your research. How are the other subjects carrying on? Because it's possible to do that on Zoom because you'd be in lecture theatre anyway.
Right.
So that's all right. But is that carrying on at full speed where those subjects, research, your individual research being compromised is understandable under these circumstances. But your other subjects, they're lecture related, assignment related, are those subjects drastically hampered in the process?
So I guess with respect to the delivery of the material, as I said at the beginning, transferring to Zoom was quite the adjustment for everyone, and even now some professors, they're still in that adjustment period, because they might not just be too tech savvy, which is entirely understandable. So at times there are technical challenges, and it's hard to fully absorb the material. But I feel like everyone, professors and students, have been very patient and understanding with the whole process. And professors realize that a lot of students, they might not have very good access to the internet, for example, so they can't attend lectures live, and realizing that a lot of professors have gone out of their way to make sure that students fully understand the material by offering one-on-one tutorial sessions via Zoom whenever a student is available, or alternatively, you can email professors anytime. And personally speaking, they've done a really good job of replying in a timely manner. With that said, however, I still think that in a sense, the education is compromised, only because, as you said before, it's very hard to establish connections with other students. And my personal philosophy is that when you combine students from different cultures and backgrounds, that sort of breeds innovation and development, which is very, very important. However, with that said, I have to say that one huge advantage of this whole online component is that I think a lot of students are actually able to take the time to sort of understand and appreciate the material they're learning now. Because in the past, exams would be in person, and a lot of students who were aiming for high marks, the thought of the exams would stress them out, and it'd be hard to appreciate the material because they'd be so focused on trying to remember all of it to score well. However, now, because there's no in-person exams, a lot of professors have taken to alternative forms of evaluation that are a lot more stress reduced and effectively allow students to properly appreciate what they're learning, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. I mean, saying that there'll be new systems of evaluation. That's very interesting. I never thought of that. But would you say with the new systems of evaluating the work of a student, will there also be some latitude given to students because of all these impediments, because of all these challenges, not only of the studying the work you have, but also grappling with the technology that you have to work with, and also the professors have to work with? Because if there are any challenges that the professor has, then you get the tail end of it. If he delays, you delay. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, sure.
Do you think that universities, particularly knowing your own university, would they cut you a slack in saying that, look, this 4-year program, this honors program that you're on, and now COVID having gone on for almost a year now, before long it'll be a year, and who knows how long more it'll carry on, that we will allow you some degree of latitude in the time you take to complete your degree without any punitive action against you, extra fees, or will they give you some degree of concession on fees, on time to submit your assignments, and those things? Do you foresee that universities will become a bit more lax on how they deal with students in the future?
So that's actually quite a good question. And in terms of fees, unfortunately, I don't think so. I think fees will stay right where they are, unfortunately. However, in terms of cutting some students slack with respect to the material and assignments and evaluations, it's already happening. So McGill, like across every single program, they've come up with a policy where each exam, the time that you would usually be allotted in a pre-COVID world, at this time you are given twice as much more time. So in case you have any technical challenges, you have a bit more time to find a solution, contact the professor, whatever, to rectify the problem. And additionally, at least at McGill, and I know it's been quite prominent at a few other universities as well, mental health has been emphasized again and again throughout the semester, and it's actually quite, in a sense, it's almost comedic. But as soon as you mention those two words in an email to anyone, they immediately provide you with extra time or resources, and they'll just help you relax and allow you to complete whatever the assessment is at your own comforting pace.
Yeah, I can see that the entire paradigm of teaching will have to change from what you tell me, and the paradigm of learning will have to change as well. And I can see that there's mental health issues, they predominate the scene, for the simple reason that I think one of the basic experience of a student going to the undergrad degree and leaving home for the first time is probably loneliness. And since you can't interact with other human beings, I mean, like we used to, although you do on Zoom, but we can't do it like that we were traditionally accustomed to, that creates a degree of alienation and loneliness, I suppose.
Exactly. No, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. And like, as I mentioned before as well, a lot of the problems that we're seeing on kids' health phone as well have to do with isolation and feeling lonely. So it is a major problem at this time. And just given the recent developments in the world regarding COVID and the new strain that emerged in the UK, I feel like this could go on for at least a few more months.
Now, Reese, before I let you go today, I'm interested in, in the UK, they've got the vaccination, Pfizer and Moderna and all that. And of course, 𝗟𝗫𝗀 is going to come on shortly. The Oxford vaccination is going to be on board. But they say there are new strains of the virus, and the virus is constantly mutating.
Right.
So, as a research scientist, bench scientist, I would call you that, is that, do you feel that COVID is going to be with us for a long time? And the question I would normally, feel comfortable with is, when do you think we will reach herd immunity in the different countries? Now, but just take Canada. You just work on Canada and the United States. And I was told, I kept asking this question to various people, in the past few weeks, and I'm told that the only time you can have herd immunity is when you vaccinate 70% of the population. And in the case of measles, you had to vaccinate 90% of the population to get herd immunity. So, but with the virus constantly mutating, doesn't that make vaccinations and COVID-19's existence more and more challenging beyond our present scientific capacity, you think?
So that's actually a really good question. I guess to start off, like, first of all, like, viruses and vaccines, they're very complex. My whole degree in the past 4 years, I feel at least half of it has just been spent on viruses and how they operate. And it's actually, like, from a purely from a scientific perspective, viruses, as small as they are so complex, and again, from a purely scientific perspective, you have to take a moment to appreciate how complex they really are, and we've learned a lot from viruses as well. Like, a lot about what we know from cancer came from viruses, like, from the very beginning. So as dangerous and unpredictable as COVID is, you can't help but also sort of appreciate its impact on the world, again, from a purely scientific perspective. But now, moving on to your question. So the thing about viruses is, so as with human cells, they also replicate. And now the replication process is very complex in humans as well as in viruses. But there are various differences in the replication process. The most important, in my opinion, of which is that viruses don't have a repair mechanism, because, you know, we're all human, we all make mistakes, and when we replicate ourselves, there's also a lot of errors that have happened. Around one every 10,000 base pairs, there's a mistake that happens called a mutation. However, with our cells, we have a repair mechanism that can rectify that almost immediately. With viruses, on the other hand, they don't have a repair mechanism. So when there's a mistake that happens, it's there. Now, with that said, that's why viruses, they mutate constantly. And actually, with this new strain of COVID that emerged in the UK, in total it has 17 different mutations, and of those 17, the one that's most critical is on the S protein. Now, the S protein is what the virus uses to bind to our cells. If you think of it, it's actually a receptor that will bind to one of the proteins on our cells, which is how the virus enters. Now, the mutation that happened in this S protein, it began in the UK, and just by chance, this mutation has caused this particular strain of COVID to be more virulent, in that it can enter our cells more readily and more vigorously, which is why it's so much more dangerous. Now, coming back to your question about, how long this could go on for. Honestly, it's too hard to tell at this time, only because, vaccine viruses, they mutate constantly. And as a matter of fact, the other 16 out of the 17 mutations, 8 of them, from what I remember, they absolutely had no impact on the virus's virulence at all. There were very mild mutations that caused a no negative impact on the efficacy of the vaccine or the spreading of the virus at all. This is the first mutation that's so important, only because it's on the protein that's critical to enter into our host cells. Now, to discuss herd immunity is quite interesting because, you're right in that you need 70 to 80% of the population to be vaccinated in order to sort of diminish transmission of the virus. However, there are reports of the virus also being in animals, specifically in minks. Now, I don't know if you know this, but in the Netherlands, there have been numerous reports of minks being infected with the virus. And not only that, but when they transmit the virus into humans, it's an entirely different strain. And the implications of that is that even though 70 to 80% of the population would be treated with the vaccine, we still have the remaining 20 to 30% who are susceptible to infection by an animal. Because the way herd immunity works is that when you have majority of the population treated, then they can transmit the virus to someone who isn't treated with the vaccine. However, when animals come into play, it gets a lot more complicated because someone who isn't infected, who isn't treated with with the vaccine, they can contract the virus from an animal, such as a cat, a dog, because there are reports of dogs also being infected.
Sorry about that. Reese, having said that, can we consider that some of the mutations are benign?
Yes, absolutely. Like out of the 17 mutations that are found in this new strain, about 50% of them are absolutely harmless. And the reason being is that because those mutations, they either will cause the production of the same protein, so effectively there's no difference in the mutated strain, or that mutation would happen in an irrelevant part of the virus genome that does not code for any protein.
Well, so can we assume from what you're telling me that the vaccine as it is now, only the vaccine is not modified or enhanced, it will still be effective with the new mutations, half of them being benign?
Yes. And the reason being is, see, the vaccine itself, both Pfizer and Moderna, the whole purpose of the vaccine is to replicate that one S protein, because that S protein is essentially the only connection between the human population and COVID and the viral world. So these two vaccines, Pfizer and Moderna, they both are designed to replicate that S protein. So as a result, any mutated viruses, as long as that S protein is still intact, as long as it still has that same structure, then the vaccines theoretically should be 100% effective.
Thank you very much. I mean, even the last show, your father's show, the last one with Dr. 𝗟𝗫𝗪𝗓𝗔, gave me a wonderful understanding of it. And today, coming from you as well, I'm understanding more about this herd immunity and the mutation of the virus. And I must say, Reese, that your knowledge on this subject is vast. I mean, for an undergrad student, and you and I must have met for the first time about 5 years ago, and I'm really deeply impressed with your knowledge on this and the research you're doing at your level. It's absolutely admirable. I really admire that. Thank you very much. Reese, you've given us a wonderful understanding, very simple language, as did 𝗟𝗫𝗪𝗓𝗔 the other night, Dr. 𝗟𝗫𝗪𝗓𝗔, and I really appreciated that. So with today's, your presentation, I think people who don't speak scientific language, you have put this entire process, an entire challenge in very simple terms. And I'm really, I really appreciate that, and I'm grateful for that. Thank you, Reese.
Yeah, and before I let you guys go, go on, no, let me ask you, Ameer bhai, now we are in a different world. As you said, we are in a new world now. So when the first year student comes to you, how do you deal with it? Because I believe you change your kind of details as well, because now we are in a new world.
Well, Jalal, and I think Reese will agree with it, that the application processes have not drastically changed. For you to get into a university, there is an application process that is still a traditional kind of process. And even the application for funding and financing is still as it is, from my experience in recent months. Why would that change, or does it need to change? I don't know. Probably there's no need to change the application processes for admission into university and for funding. What needs to change are the paradigms of teaching and the paradigms of learning.
Yeah.
That is where the greatest challenge has been posed to universities and the faculty. And I know that university professors, and I'm in touch with a couple, they're absolutely inundated with work in finding new ways and new paradigms of teaching that are as effective as what they thought were during normal times. So my work hasn't changed. My voluntary work with students still remains the same. And I'm sure that Reese will agree with me that part of the university, the application processes, fortunately hasn't changed.
Yeah.
Change, Reese? Do you think they'll have to change that?
Honestly, no, I don't think so. I feel that I feel like that the content that applications typically ask, I think it's still very valid, especially in a COVID world. I feel perhaps maybe admission committees at some universities, at the least, they may be a bit more lenient with grades and such. I do know that at least some schools, and now they are willing to disregard the winter 2020 semester only because that's when COVID erupted and negatively impacted so many students. So if individuals' grades aren't the best in that semester, a lot of schools, or a lot of the admission committees are willing to disregard that semester because they understand that there were exceptional circumstances.
Mm-hmm. But Reese said, the one thing that strikes me is that with the reduction of foreign students who pay 3 times the fees in Canada and in some other countries, with that drastic reduction of foreign students coming in, do you think that the fee structure will increase to make up for that revenue loss that universities will be suffering? Do you think that will force their hand to increase fees drastically for local students and make it sometimes prohibitive for local students to go to local universities? Do you think that could happen?
Honestly, that's a good question, and unfortunately, I have to say it. I think it varies. But so is possible. I guess an alternative solution to that would also be to be more lenient in the application process, and you simply accept more students within the country rather than depending so much on international students. I do know that some universities they also have an emergency fund that they can unlock as well that they can use to cover certain expenses for the time being until they can until restrictions ease up as well.
Well, you see, based on this subject, Reese, I ask one question, that if a foreign student is going to pay 3 times the fees and is really eager to come to say McGill or Queen's or University of Toronto or one of our other universities in Canada, pay 3 times the fees and don't get what I would call that valuable student experience that there used to be in normal times, is it worth their while to even join our universities in the near future?
That's a good question. And I have to say a lot of students are asking the same thing, because I know quite a few individuals who are planning to, or who have already deferred by a semester or a year because they don't see the point in paying so much tuition if they can gain the full university experience out of it. And in particular, that's happening with a lot of international students, and understandably so, because tuition fees are so high, but they aren't able to travel into Canada for whatever reason, because of restrictions or because of safety concerns from parents, whatever. And yeah, so like a lot of them are just choosing to defer and put their education on a temporary hold because they just don't see the point in paying so much for so little.
Yeah, I would agree with you, because I mean, it's a logical, reasonable question to ask yourself. And especially when families pay so much in third and developing countries and other countries, you know, they sacrifice so much to send their young boys and girls to our universities. I mean, this is a reasonable, logical question that they would be asking themselves. So, you know, it's not beyond them to ask, and it's something that is going to drastically affect the revenues of universities here.
Which is why I think a lot of universities are putting in their utmost effort to restore that in-person lifestyle of learning, because not only is it compromising the education of so many students, but they're also losing a lot of revenue.
Yes.
Yeah. So Reese, let me take you back, 4 years ago, when you actually went to Montreal, McGill first time. And so then, and of course, you were the president for the MISA, which is a Montreal Smiley, like a group. So, so if someone new coming, to McGill or any other university, or especially McGill, because you are there. So then, because of course, this person or this student moving alone by themselves, away from the family, away from their city. So, what do you want to tell them? What are the support available, within the McGill or within the MISA?
Yeah, no, I know. I mean, sorry, are you talking about in a COVID world or a non-COVID era?
Both. Let's say the non first, and then so now it's a new world now.
Right. No, sure. No. Yeah. So we made a particular effort to reach out to all the first students, especially because we were able to empathize with the stress and or being on your own for the first time, away from parents. So we made a particular effort to be very welcoming and inviting to all the new students. We tried to establish connections with them right away, only so they feel fit in. We host a lot of exciting events within MISA, including we have an annual ski trip, which is a whole weekend away where you just spend time with the MISA family, and that's probably one of the best events that we host, only because all these students, they have a chance to really bond, because well, first of all, they're locked into a car for 4 hours drive there and back, and they all spend a whole weekend with each other. And additionally, there's always events happening in Kane and also outside of Kane as well, hosted by MISA to help students bond and just give them something to do on an evening when they perhaps don't have anything else to do. Outside of MISA as well, there's so many clubs, there's so many student clubs that are always looking for new participants, and I think that's one of the best ways to sort of meet new people and make new friends and also make new memories as well. In a COVID world, of course, all very challenging because you can't have in-person events. But even despite that, Visa has been doing a commendable job hosting virtual events over Zoom on a regular basis, and through that, all the upper years are getting to meet and establish relations with the first year students, help them out whenever they need, just listening ear as well, and overall just act as home away from home.
Mm-hmm. So like Ameer bhai, like of course like students are changing in the new world. So I think your son is in the Harvard. So is there any changing in the in the professor style? Of course they are going with the new world as well. So what are they looking for in students these days?
I haven't been back to Boston for almost 10 months. I used to go very regularly, but I know that they're very busy daily. They're teaching from home, like all other professors in other universities must be doing. And I'm sure McGill is the same. But they're, I think, grappling with, they're wrestling with new ideas about what to do in the world of the new normal.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, first of all, we need to describe the landscape of the new normal. Is the new normal going to be the normal we used to know? Or is the new normal going to be still wearing masks and social distancing and working through Zoom for a longer time than we anticipate?
Yeah.
I don't know. And I don't think anybody is able to predict that. But I know that some of the larger, better universities of the world are grappling with this idea because many of their revenues depend on them getting back to normal. And unless they get back to the normal like we used to know, or closest to that, their revenue streams are going to be affected very drastically. That is my reading of the matter, because universities have to have funding. And if government funding, like when you have the state universities, or particularly in the UK, they're already thinking of drastically cutting funding to universities in the new budgets. And what they have in mind is to have smaller universities merge with each other, where they will no longer receive, or the likelihood of them no longer receiving government grants. So the state and the status of universities and post-secondary educational institutions, I think, is in a state of flux. And it's a state of uncertain flux because I don't think anyone has really figured out on how to keep the revenue stream, as well as keep the teaching style and the student style, and come back to normal or a new normal that will at least resemble what we used to know university education to be. So I think it's going to take, and of course, from an ordinary point of view, the greatest minds are at universities. So if they can't resolve that problem, then I don't know who else is going to be able to do that.
Yeah. Wow. And before I ask you, Ameer bhai, last year you received a gold medal from the Governor General of Canada, and what an honor for us, from the same community. And I want to play that video. It's about 40-second video. I want to play that video if you can just hold on with us. And it's a really, really honor for us to have you on the show as well. So here we go.
Thank you very much.
Ameer Keshawji. Ameer has been helping students in difficult circumstances access post-secondary education over the past 3 decades. Through his volunteer work with such institutions as the 𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏 Council supports, youth from around the world have fulfilled their educational aspirations. For his co-stars, Ameer Keshawji is awarded the Sovereign Medal.
Yeah, they became a woman, you know, so tonight today one
Wow, mashallah, kya baat hai, you know.
Alhamdulillah, thank you very much. I received the medal on behalf of the numerous students who allowed me to become part of the sacred journey to pursue higher learning and enhancement of the intellect. So, you know, I thank God, but I've accepted it with humility on behalf of all the students.
Mashallah, kya baat. You know, it's you know, because I like, you know, when I posted on like on YouTube and then I posted on Facebook yesterday as well, like, you know, what a proud moment for us, you know, as a community to receive this kind of, you know, medal from the Governor General of Canada. So I think we are living in a beautiful country and we are blessed to be in this country where they recognize this kind of thing, not individually, but on a, like, you know, on a large basis as well. So I think it's so great to see you, and congratulations to you and your family, and we are so blessed to have you here. Yeah.
It's a praise and good wishes of members of the community and all the institutions of our community that have enabled me to carry on and render this service, which has been, I feel deeply, I'm humbled with this award that I got from Her Majesty the Queen's medal. And it's all because of members, the young boys and girls of our Jamaat, that allowed me to become part of the sacred journey that they were undertaking. And I feel deeply honored. I feel privileged. I feel privileged.
Yeah, and you know, because I remember, you know, when we started to look for the reason, you know, of course we talked to the Dr. 𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏 and you as well, and you know, Zahir, like the Zahir Mugisab, everyone helped us, you know, wherever Reese is here right now, and we are very proud to see as a parent, you know, whatever he's getting right now, and when, you know, when we hear him talking about COVID and all kinds of things, and we feel proud as well from inside. And of course, you know, it's all because of you. And of course, when you hear Reese, you feel part as well, you know, because you put in so much time and effort, you know, to where he is right now.
Well, you know, Reese made me very proud. There's one of the very few students I met that had interviews at 3 Ivy League schools, you know, which he carried out with great honor and aplomb. And that made me very proud. And also, you know, meeting students over a cup of coffee at my favorite coffee shop, Tim Hortons in Northland Mall, gave me 4, 5, 6 hours a day sitting at one place in the coffee shop, meeting different students with different ambitions and different trajectories in their academic lives. And when I saw that, I felt, and I've ever since we begin to feel, that if I feel that I was giving students something and everything, that wasn't the case. I was learning from these students because they taught me new ideas and new avenues on how to pursue their academic careers. And so I saw this innovative ideas from young students that enhanced my one-man independent voluntary, you know, civil society program and made it more effective. And I'm also deeply grateful and thankful to the students like Reese and the many, many numerous others that I had met over these many years. And I say, shukr alhamdulillah, I thank God that I've been given this wonderful opportunity to do this kind of work. I'm deeply humbled. I'm truly humbled.
Sure. Reese, how do you feel when you hear from Ameer Keshawji?
Oh no, I mean every word that comes out of his mouth to me is sacred. Honestly, I wouldn't be where I am without all your support and your guidance and your love and your patience through all the years. Every time I come back and you take time to meet with me, like it makes me feel very special inside, and I couldn't be more grateful for all your support and your guidance over the past 5 years now.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So I think it was very informative, and it was a great questions by Ameer Bhai to you, Reese, and it was lovely to hear both of you. So before we finish the show, Ameer Bhai, what do you want to say? Last message, last comment.
Well, the only thing I can say is that the Indian saying which says, "It takes a village to raise a child." Jalal, if it's your son or your daughter, you're not going to be able to raise that child by yourself.
Yeah.
You need the entire community, the entire village to help you. Likewise for my children. I have not done everything for my children all by myself, my wife and I. No. I also needed help from the community. So if the moment we realize that we are one frontierless brotherhood, a family of humanity, and that wherever we can help change the trajectory, the academic graph of a student, particularly those who come from marginalized societies, then we will realize that we will make this world a better place. And every student whose life we change the trajectory. And we try, and that is where we are trying to eradicate poverty, and we try to eradicate hopelessness. We need to ignite that spark of hope, which tells every student, rich or poor, that I have a place in this world. I have a place within the family of humanity.
Yeah.
When I am given the opportunity and the wherewithal to proceed, I will do my best. And I will live up to the expectations of the people that help me. So once we realize that we need each other and that we have to work vigorously to help other children of other faiths, communities, colors, creeds, that's when I think that pluralism will take deep root within our societies, and our societies will become more peaceful.
Very well said. Very well said. Yeah. Reese, what do you want to say? Oh, so you're mute. You're mute.
Sorry. No, I think one thing that I would stress to everyone is that, like, we've been living in a COVID world for almost a year now. Hopefully we're almost to the finish line as well. Reports have just come out about what in both the Pfizer and the Moderna vaccine is causing all the allergic reactions. So hopefully this whole COVID nightmare will soon come to an end, and we can resume with our pre-COVID lives. But until then, remain strong. Reach out to friends and family whenever you're feeling alone or isolated. And yeah, we're almost to the finish line. Also, if you don't mind, one quick word to all the students. If anyone's interested in learning more about COVID and its impact in any of the aspects in society, whether in the government or economical, healthcare, psychological, etc., 𝗟𝗫𝗀 Canada, this non-for-profit organization that's focused on giving research opportunities to students, is currently recruiting high school and university students into the program. Just visit 𝗟𝗫𝗀Canada.org and you'll find all the information there and on how to apply. And the deadline to apply is uh, uh, December 31st at 11:59. So if anyone's interested in researching groundbreaking content on COVID, and essentially being on the front lines of cutting edge research, all of you should go check out the website and consider applying.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, thank you so much, Ameer bhai. It's always an honor to have you, and Reese, and all the best to you, and stay safe when you go back to Montreal. He's here in Calgary right now. He's upstairs in our house. And thanks again. Inshallah, we'll when we move forward with this new normal, with this new COVID-19, and let's see what happens with the new strain in UK. So we might be back again and talking about the COVID again. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ameer bhai.
Thank you, Jalal, for having me, Reese. Very nice speaking to you, and we are very proud of you. Inshallah.
Thank you. So guys, it's Reese Ladak and of course Ameer Keshawji, and hope it was very informative for you. The first guest we had from Karachi, Pakistan, Shazal from the Students Basement Active Center, and then of course Reese and Ameer Keshawji. As a student, like what are the challenges in university these days for our students? So it was a great info by the Ameer Keshawji as well as Reese as a student. And our future superstar Somali Youth Artist 3.0 registrations are going on. It will end on December 31st at 11:59 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, Calgary time. So we have already about 60 plus registration. So thank you so much, everyone. So we'll be doing our selection because this time, like we announced last time, this time we'll have only one show that will be end of February. So once we finish, once we clear the deadline for our registration, so we'll be contacting you. Agar aapne apply kiya hai, so we'll contact you and we'll let you know because we'll be doing a selection. And as I said, so we'll let you know if your son or your daughter or niece or nephew who are applied for it. So if they got selected or not, then we'll move forward with our second step. So until then, COVID-19 still here, as you heard, the new strain in UK, but then now the new strain, the one was in UK. Now we have in Ontario as well. I think there is a couple which are infected and they're positive, but they are under quarantine. So hopefully, if we stay home, if we don't go out, if we don't do social gathering, if we wash our hands regularly, and if we use our mask, and if we stay 2 meters apart, so we'll be fine. We'll be okay. We will be able to beat this virus, but we have to do our job. Stay home. Don't go out. No social gathering at all. Stay 2 meters apart. Use mask. And wash your hands. All the time continuously. So then we will beat this virus. Hopefully, our normal life will be back very soon. And there is a new promo. Our good friend Sulaiman Rahman, he sent it to me. Please, you'll enjoy this. Let me just put it on. Okay, there we go. It's a new promo for my Koffee Jalal. Here we go.
Subscribe to our official YouTube channel and stay updated.
There you go. So if you can subscribe my channel and stay on with me, and then you'll get all the notification. You'll be the first one to know. So if you're on YouTube, please subscribe my channel. If you're watching on Facebook, you can subscribe me on YouTube as well, and like my page Koffee with Jalal. Then you'll get all the info, everything like the first. And there are so many shows happening until the end of the year. I believe there is one on 27th. I believe that's a Monday tomorrow. It's a fundraiser event by the Nisha Devani, and then on Tuesday we'll have a Salam Numbers the Calgary show, 6:30 Calgary time, 8:30 Eastern with me and Salma Jadavji, and then we'll move on. Let's see how there are so many shows happening for the end of the year on New Year's Eve as well. So we'll be sharing on all my pages and group, including Entertainment Canada, Coffee with Jalal page, and Future Superstar group as well. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us, and the people who shared it, commented, including Nerm, Gulrose, and Sarmad as well, Shazal, first was Sonia, Fedifab, Shazad. There are so many other people. Thank you so much, everyone. We'll see you on Tuesday, inshallah, 6:30 Calgary time, 8:30 Eastern. Until then, good night, good day, and stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you.